Moments with Mark chapter 6, verse 35. Late in the afternoon, his disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place, and it is already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the nearby farms and villages and buy something to eat." But Jesus said, "You feed them." "With what?" they asked. "We'd have to work for months to earn enough money to buy food for all these people." "How much bread do you have?" he asked. "Go and find out." They came back and reported, "We have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish." Then Jesus told the disciples to have the people sit down in groups on the green grass, so they sat down in groups of 50 or 100. Jesus took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looked up toward heaven, and blessed them. Then, breaking the loaves into pieces, he kept giving the bread to the disciples so they could distribute this bread to the people. They all ate as much as they wanted, and afterward the disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftover bread and fish. A total of 5,000 men and their families were fed. Immediately after this, Jesus insisted that his disciples get back into the boat, head across the lake to Bethsaida, while he sent the people home. After telling everyone goodbye, he went up into the hills by himself to pray. Mark 6:35 through 46, the crowd is fed with 5 loaves and 2 fishes. This miracle is recorded in all 4 Gospels. Jesus feeds the 5,000, and he uses his disciples to distribute the food. In these verses, we see the disciples have a problem. Jesus said, "You feed them." And they said, "With what?" They were caught in a quandary of what they should do. The disciples' problem was, in and of themselves, they did not have enough. Sometimes that's true of us. In and of ourselves, we don't have enough. It's true with you, it's true with me. But then we see in Mark 6, verse 38 through 40, the disciples' provisions. What do they have? That's what Jesus asked them. What do you have? "We have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish," they said. This 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish would be enough with Jesus involved. This isn't very much. It's only a little compared to the large crowd, but little is much when God is in it. Little is much when given to Jesus. In verses 41 through 44, we see the disciples' presentation. Jesus took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, looked up toward heaven, and then he blessed them. Then, breaking the loaves into pieces, he kept giving the bread to the disciples so that they could give to the crowd, so that they could distribute this to the people. "You feed them," Jesus said, "with my help. You receive and you give to others, and I will be in it." Here we see Jesus' creative power. Something real, solid, and substantial was called into being which did not exist before. Over 5,000 hungry people would never have been satisfied if they had not received into their mouths real, substantial bread. Jesus supernaturally multiplied the bread and the fish. You see, Jesus met the needs of those in need. Today, Jesus uses us, just like he used those disciples, to meet the needs of those we may encounter. We read in verse 46 that after telling everyone goodbye, Jesus went up into the hills by himself for some prayer. This certainly can be an example for us today. After all our busyness, we can surely take time to pray. To take time to pray, we must make time to pray. Make a time to pray. Make a place to pray. Make an opportunity to be alone in prayer with God. Develop a habit of prayer. We live in an era where we are often in a hurry. We are busy people, that's true. We are often tempted to cut short our prayer time because we are in a hurry. Here is an idea. This week, try to set aside a time for prayer when you are not in a hurry. Maybe add some worship music or just take some time to read a psalm. And don't rush it. Just enjoy some time alone with God, the Bible, and prayer.